Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, it is actually a topic that was requested by you guys on Instagrams, and most of you voted tips to improve self-discipline. I am very flattered because I'm sure if you follow me on Instagram, and you would see my repetitive posts of my workout program, the things that I eat. And I think especially when you're on a carnivore diet for like I don't know if anyone would say that you do not have self-discipline. But anyways, this video is not going to be talking about the carnivore diet. Obviously, I'm just going to share with you some quick tips, something for you to think about in terms of how do you build this ability, this skill of self-discipline. So the good news is self-discipline is a behavior or a skill that you can actually acquire or develop. It is not something that you have to be born with. Maybe let's first define what self-discipline means. So self-discipline, if you were to Google the definition, it will more or less come to some of the keywords, like willpower, the ability to push yourself into an action despite how you feel. So it does not consider whether it's a physical feeling or emotional feeling that you have. It is an action that you're going to take no matter what. So that is what self-discipline means. And I think one of the greatest example is when usually we will set a goal for ourselves, like I want to make sure that I go to the gym or exercise 3 times a week, and then on some days you don't feel your best, so you will skip. So that would mean that you lack self-discipline skill. So someone with very high self-discipline skill is they really stick to the plan and they have a lot of willpower. Actually, what I'm planning to do is split this into 3 parts, right? So this video that you're watching is actually going to be part 1. So part 1, I'm going to talk about self-awareness. How is that going to help you in terms of building your self-discipline? And then part 2, I'm going to share how you actually set goals and the consequence of it. I think that is a very key one that most people don't really talk about when it comes to self-discipline. And then the last video, the third part of this video is where I'm going to talk a little bit about willpower. How do you kind of alter your perception so that you don't think that self-discipline is something that is very challenging? And I think at the end of the day, I just hope that with my tips, I'm able to at least make you think that self-discipline is actually achievable. You can build it slowly over time and it is sustainable. So now let's talk about self-awareness. What do I mean by self-awareness? How is this related to self-discipline? I think first things first is before you even attempt to set a goal, like for example, they want to quit smoking, they have bad eating habits, maybe they can't stick to their workout program, or they're just constantly wasting time because they have a list of things to do, but because they don't have the self-discipline, because they allow their mood to dictate the kind of actions that will take, they end up unintentionally wasting time and not being productive. So these are some of the very common ones. I think first things first is to do an exercise of self-awareness and have an honest conversation with yourself. What is your weakness exactly? Like why are you doing the things that you're doing, and why are you not sticking to the plan, right? This is something that I often hear. Yeah, it's just too difficult. In the beginning, I have a lot of motivation, and then after that, it just goes away. So I think this honest conversation with yourself is really going to be the primer, that preparation stage before you try to set a goal, before you try to take any action that would have self-discipline. So first thing is going through this self-awareness exercise. Look inwards and ask yourself who you are and why you fail to stick to the plan. Okay, I'm gonna now share with you an example of what has happened to me and how I actually pull up a lot of self-discipline to achieve this goal that I have, which was, I think it's one of the most difficult because, and actually most people suffer from, because it is an addiction. Okay, so in order to get out from an addiction or a comfort zone, you need a lot of self-discipline, right? This is where self-discipline, it's a life skill that is going to help you to stick to the plan. Okay, so I used to be a smoker, and I was smoking for I think about 10 years or more. I started smoking when I was cigarettes, of course, right? I started smoking when I was 17 or 18 years old, and at a point of time, I think it was towards my early 20s, I also led a very unhealthy lifestyle. I didn't have enough sleep. I wouldn't care how much sleep I would have. I obviously made a lot of bad, or poor food choices. It was all processed food, anything that is convenient. And I just guess in general, my lifestyle is not very healthy. So smoking was just like the cherry on top. And then, of course, my environment, I am surrounded by a lot of people that would smoke. And then I think back then I didn't have this self-awareness or conversation with myself on why I decided to smoke or why I continued to let myself smoke, right? So I want you to imagine my cigarette smoking habit as your one habit that you actually want to get rid of, and to have self-discipline to stick to the plan, right? So my plan was to quit smoking. My plan was to eventually quit smoking. But if I were to put myself, back when I was 20 years old, in that period of time, I didn't have self-awareness. I didn't know that all of this was as bad as it is. And I see it as smoking was helping me with my stress management. And I still was able to find like benefits of why I was smoking. So perhaps you don't have self-discipline because you do not know how bad or the consequence of it long term enough, for you to realize that, hey, I need to do something. So this is where self-discipline is going to come in. Its first step is recognize, understand truly your weakness. When I say recognize and understand, is really knowing the why of you having this weakness, what is causing this weakness, and just really that brutal, honest conversation with yourself. What are you running from that you would be doing this? I think over time, I became more and more self-aware that the reason why I would smoke is because I want to make myself feel better, and it is like a routine and I am used to it. So you see, this is how comfort zone can kill you, but this is even worse. So in the back of my mind, I kind of knew that it was bad for me, but I kept ignoring it because I do not have any other alternative, or I did not have enough willpower at that point of time to sit down and practice this self-awareness, and perhaps I would have quit smoking a lot earlier. So until one day, I realized that I would be in a bad mood if I don't smoke. Like, everything revolves around smoking. It became to a point that I started asking myself, like, why am I relying so much on this stick, to have my life together? Like, why am I relying my mood or to let it dictate what I do and how I feel? Like, to what extent? Especially when I know that cigarette's gonna kill me. Like, why am I allowing it to control my life? So I started having more and more of this all these thoughts in my head, all this conversation, and nothing really changed until I really wrote it down. And when I wrote it down, I don't know what kind of feeling was that, but I think when you write down things, it just looks more serious, you know. I could actually see with my own eyes on what it's actually doing to me. Like why I'm actually smoking. Like I actually wrote down reasons why I'm smoking, and then as I was writing it down, I realized how bad it was. And but it wasn't then that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna quit smoking. It's not as easy as that. But because I started becoming more self-aware, I tried to find other things to soothe myself, to like comfort myself. Like, I think I'm going to continue smoking, but I'm going to start exercising or start to eat a bit healthy so that I can kind of like counterbalance, you know. You cannot be entirely bad. So I wanted to do that yin and yang of like trying to balance it out. And that was very interesting, you know, like how I tried to balance it out. So I started exercising. I started going into like what are the healthy ways to eat. I started going into this whole like realm of like eating healthy and fitness eventually. And then fast forward, I was juggling between smoking and going to the gym or exercising. So every time I would exercise, I would feel this endorphin, I would sweat, I would feel good, but only to a certain extent. I start to feel like I don't have endurance anymore, as you know, when you smoke, right? And then sometimes when I would work out, I would kind of like crave for a cigarette, which is like, it's like the most embarrassing thing when you're trying to smoke near the gym, right? Because it's like you have a conflict of identity. Like, hey, I'm trying to make my heart healthy, or like I'm trying to get fit, but at the same time I have this smoking addiction, you know, like and I remember my mom was telling me like why are you still smoking when like you are eating healthy, you know. Like, I think that awareness of what's going on became deeper and deeper. This conflicting identity that I had, you know, it just became like I started asking myself, so who do I want to be? Am I someone that is addicted, or am I really someone that is trying to be fit? So this was the honest conversation that I had with myself, like who I wanted to be. And this whole being aware of what's happening, trying to find out what I'm trying to be, why am I trying to quit all these things, it was enough for me to have a sense of my purpose and have a very clear sense of my why. You know, sometimes when your why is not enough, is where you don't have motivation, you don't have determination, you just lack, you know, direction, because you don't know why you're doing it. So I guess it took quite a while for me, because I didn't know my why and I was ignoring my why, to be honest. And then the more and more the why became prominent, it just became stronger than my craving. And then that is what pushed me into actually planning how I'm actually going to quit smoking. So I just want to emphasize, I think this is the tip that I'm trying to share with you. You know, first is being very aware of why this is happening, why you're doing it, and why are you this person. This is the dialogue that actually changed me. When I was planning out, when I was recognizing why I need to stop all this, the conversation was not about like I cannot smoke or I don't smoke anymore. You know, it's not that. I think it just triggered me that like I don't want to be a smoker. I want to be a fit person that is actually healthy, that has all this energy, and I don't rely on a substance to feel good. Like, I just want to be a fit person. So it's not that I want that action, but actually I wanted to be someone. So when I identified it with my belief and who I wanted to be, and whether this is the person that I want to be, the self-discipline became very automatic. You know, I started planning out, and my willpower just, I think it just happened because your why is so strong. Like, you feel like you are disappointing yourself if you don't do it. So it is coming to 4 or 5 years now since I stopped smoking, and believe me when I say I still have those cravings even after so long, and especially being known as someone that has super high self-discipline, it does get to me, but it becomes automated in the sense where every time I will feel like this urge or the craving, right, this thought will appear in my head. So who do you want to be? It's not what are you gonna do? It's more of who you want to be. Are you going to be the smoker, the one that goes for the easier route and rely on the substance, or you're going to be that strong person that is actually going to do the right thing, where you're going to take a walk, which is healthier for you, you're going to talk to someone, or you're just going to write your thoughts down to release your stress in the right way. I think the most important part I'm going to share with you is that the decision that I choose to go for has to be a vote of who I am, and it has to align of who I want to be, and most importantly is going to be something that I will not regret or feel bad after I do it. So self-awareness is more important than you think, and I think a lot of people, when they lack self-awareness, sometimes when they go to the bad choices, they don't realize that, you know, it is as bad as it is because they lack self-awareness, because their why is not strong enough. So being very self-aware, having an honest conversation with yourself, and finding out your why is going to set you up for success when you are trying to build on your self-discipline. So this tactic, actually, I got it from a book that I read called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It was very useful because he really breaks it down into detail on why we have bad habits and why we have good habits. And he shared some formulas on how good habits are built, how do you stick to it, which self-discipline comes into play. To this chart, I'm going to show it somewhere maybe above my head. The layers of behavior change. So what it's trying to show here is, most often people set a goal based on the outcome or the physical thing that what they want to achieve. So for example, in this chart, you will see that, you know, the appearance, which is the outer layer of that chart, it's that you want to lose 10 pounds. So that is your goal. You want to lose 10 pounds, right? But then it may not fit into your identity, because your identity is someone that is spontaneous, you don't really have a plan, you like to sleep in late, and then you go with the flow when it comes to food choices. But then you want to lose that 10 pounds, but your lifestyle, who you are, it's not in line with your goal, the outcome. So some people will achieve this, but when it's not part of your identity, it's not something that you believe in, it will most likely not be sustainable. Maybe today I will say that I will not buy that pack of cigarette, but tomorrow I feel like shit, I will go and buy that pack of cigarette because I feel like shit. I have an excuse. I don't have a strong why. I guess the why comes from your identity, meaning, you know, are you gonna honor, are you gonna keep promises to yourself that this is who you are and who you want to be? So think about, you know, the action or the goal that you're about to take, right? Does it align with your identity? Perhaps before you even set any actions, you know, or set any goals, it's to look inwards first, have an honest conversation with yourself, have that self-awareness, find out that identity, right? Who is that person that you want to be that is going to help you to achieve the outer layer, which is the outcome or the goal that you want. So I hope this video was useful. Please stay tuned to part 2. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. If you find this video useful, please like and share. It will really help me out, and see you guys next time. Bye.